Brian Ortega versus Chan Sung Jung is a featherweight bout. Brian Ortega's shooter record of 14 wins, 1 loss. Chan Sung Jung has shooter record of 16 wins, 5 losses. Alright, so Brian Ortega is currently 29 and a half years old. Chan Sung Jung is currently 33 and a half years old, so I don't really think there's going to be that big of an age advantage in this fight. Alright, so currently, Brian Ortega is 5'8" tall. Chan Sung Jung, 5'7" tall. Not very big of a difference there. Now for the reach, Brian Ortega, 69-inch reach. Chan Sung Jung, 72-inch reach. So Chan Sung Jung definitely has the advantage there. Now, for the betting odds for this fight, Chan Sung Jung is currently the favorite at minus 172. Brian Ortega is the slight underdog at plus 162. Now, when you look at the actual Tapology predictions, out of 591 votes, that's just currently right now, there'll definitely be a lot more votes in the near future, but out of these 591 votes, 77% are going to Chan Sung Jung, mainly by KO. 23% of the votes are going to Ortega, mainly by decision or submission. So Chan Sung Jung is definitely a big favorite to win this fight. Alright, so Brian Ortega started his career off very, very good, as he ended up winning his first fight by first round submission, followed by a unanimous decision win, 2 more submission wins, a decision win, a KO, a third round, a triangle choke submission, a split decision win over Keone Koch, and then a no contest in his first fight inside of the UFC against Mike De La Torre, where he actually ended up winning by first round rear naked choke, but it ended up getting called back to a no contest. But after that no contest, he just kept on winning with a third round TKO over Thiago Tavares, a third round triangle choke submission over Diego Brandejo, a third round KO over Clay Guida, a third round guillotine choke over Renato Moicano, all of that getting him a spot in the main event of a UFC Fight Night 123, where he got a second round guillotine choke over Cub Swanson, which got him the co-main event spot at UFC 222, Cyborg versus Kunitskaya against Frankie Edgar, and he ended up getting an amazing KO in the first round over Frankie Edgar, getting him a title shot against Max Holloway in the end of 2018, but he ended up losing by fourth round doctor stoppage as Max Holloway officially, let's just say, whooped his butt. Alright, now let's take a look at his opponent, Chan Sung Jung. Alright, so Chan Sung Jung started his career off very, very good, as he started with a 9-fight win streak with a second round armbar, a first round rear naked choke, a first round KO, a first round armbar, a first round triangle choke submission, a unanimous decision, a decision win again, and then a first round KO, and then a first round rear naked choke submission. But in his next fight after that, against Mansunori Kanehira, ended up getting his first ever loss by unanimous decision, came back with his second round triangle choke submission. Then ended up losing 2 fights inside of the WEC by split decision against Leonard Garcia and a second round head kick KO over George Roop. But he came back after those 2 losses back in 2010 with a nice second round twister submission in a rematch against Leonard Garcia, as in their first fight, he ended up losing by split decision. He won that fight by twister in the second round, literally with 1 second left in that round, and then he just kept on winning with a first round KO over Mark Hominick in just 7 seconds of the very first round, and then a fourth round Darce choke over Dustin Poirier in a main event spot. But in his next fight against an absolute beast, Jose Aldo, he ended up getting that first loss inside the UFC by fourth round KO. Came back with a first round KO over Dennis Bermudez. But in his next fight after that against Yair Rodriguez, in one of the best fights I have ever seen, he ended up getting knocked out with just half a second, 0.1 second left in the round. I don't even know. But they were slugging it out for the whole 5 rounds. And then literally with 5 or 10 seconds left, maybe, they did like a hug at the middle of the cage. And then they backed off a little bit. With 5 seconds left, Yair Rodriguez lands a few. Zombie lands a few. And then Yair Rodriguez goes under, and he lands a shot from his elbow. It was so weird. Knocks out the Korean Zombie with literally 1 second left in that round. But I honestly thought he would have won that fight. If that fight had gone all the way, but it didn't, and he ended up losing the fight literally with 1 second left. But he did come back after that loss with a first round KO over Renato Moicano from overhand right, and then some ground and pound, and then a first round KO over Frankie Edgar in his last fight. Amazing KO over Frankie Edgar, which gets him this main event spot against Brian Ortega. Now, Brian Ortega, he has been off for, I think, about 2 years, about, like, I'd say 1 year, 10 months maybe. Chan Sung Jung just fought 9 months ago, so he's had a pretty decent break of his own. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Brian Ortega is on a 1-fight losing streak. Now, as you guys know, Brian Ortega's main bread and butter is to kind of get onto the ground and try to go for submissions. And this is a 5-round fight, so he's going to have a lot of time to go for submissions. But I do think Chan Sung Jung can kind of do what Max Holloway did and kind of wear Brian Ortega down to where he just doesn't look good at all. He just starts throwing stupid shots, missing by like a mile. Chan Sung Jung is just going to use kind of what Max Holloway used against Brian Ortega in his last fight. I do think this fight's going to go all the way. Chan Sung Jung can definitely get a KO in this fight. Literally everyone is thinking Chan Sung Jung is going to get a KO in this fight. He could definitely get a KO in this fight, but I do think this fight's going to go all the way. Chan Sung Jung has been in some wars in his career so far. I think this fight is going to be another one of them. It's going to be very bloody, but I do think Chan Sung Jung is going to pull out the win and win this fight by unanimous decision. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or have something to say, make sure to put in the question below, and I'll expect to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here.